I don't know where I'm going to find the time to read all these books in like 2 months. But like, who's gonna stop me? Hello besties, it's Kara. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a fall recommendation video and my fall TBR. In one, actually it is not fall weather around here quite yet, and I have so many fall books on my TBR, and we only got like 2 full months to read all of these until the vibes are not there anymore. Basically just fantasy and romance. First up, I have 4 romance books that I've already read that I'm just gonna pop in here and recommend. Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This, just the cover, I mean, it kind of gives winter, but it also just kind of gives like cozy fall cabin vibes. This is a second chance romance between Macy and Elliot. They were like childhood best friends, and then something happened, they came back. I'm sure everybody's heard about this book, but if you have not read it, it truly is worth the hype. I would want to pick this book up with my fall candle, my blanket, chilling in my room when it's like rainy. If you have not read it, I definitely think that this is the season to pick it up. Next 3 are just some cute YA romance books. Today, Tonight, and Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This could arguably be like a spring book because they're kind of on the brink graduating from their senior year. This is academic rivals to lovers, Owen and Neil. It takes place during school. I feel like fall time is great for like any kind of college, high school romance books, prep school, private school, all that kind of stuff is just perfect for fall time. Really cute if you just want a little YA romance. The Upside of Falling by Alex Light. This is really short, so it's a really quick read. This is about Becca and Brett. Brett is the captain of the football team. It's like fake dating. She's like this quiet girl, and he's like this popular football player. You know how it always goes with these high school romance books. It was very cute. I think it was a little bit more emotional. So I'm sorry if I don't have a voice right now. I went to Miss Tate McRae's concert last night and I screamed my lungs out, so you're just gonna have to deal with the raspy no voice. And lastly, I just reread this for my recent reading vlog, Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Just a classic YA high school romance. I'm sure everybody's heard about this, but Liz and Wes, she's trying to get the attention of this other guy who came back to town to get a date to prom. Wes helps her get his attention. If you're into like sports, even if you're not into sports, I will tell you, football season has started and it's the perfect time for football romance books. Not big on football romance, if I'm being honest, but I realized that I actually had quite a few that were on my TBR, surprisingly. I have a few on my TBR. One is actually a recommendation. Again, I'm sure everybody and their mother has read this book at this point, but if you have not, Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This is a closed-door NFL ballerina romance. I really did love this book when I first read it last year. Bree and Nathan, it's like best friends to lovers. They have to fake date at one point. It's like really quick, kind of cheesy, closed door, rom-com kind of book. They recommend it for this fall time. If you want a short, little quick football read. I have Blindside by Candy Steiner. This is the second book in the Red Zone series, I believe. This is about Clay and what's her name? Yana. College football, fake dating romance. He wants to make his ex jealous, and she, I think, wants dating experience or something, so they fake date. You know how it goes, the typical storyline. I definitely want to get to this one this fall time. And the cover just kind of gives fall too. I don't know what it is about it, but yes. And next up we have First Down by Grace Riley. James and Bex. James is a football player and Bex is like the photographer for the team. They have to fake date again. Next up, The Hardest Fall by Ella Mays. I do not remember what this one is about. I just bought it because I wanted all Ella Mays' books to line up and have the pretty covers before Book Depository closed. I guess they kissed and then parted ways, never spoke about it again, and are now roommates. So I have it to pick up this fall. I don't know if this is football heavy because I heard it's just kind of like 500 pages of smut. Midnight Kisses by Jenny Benedict. This is about Otis and Greta, which those are just terrible names, but she's the football coach's daughter. He's on the team. It's like friends with benefits or something. It's very long. I can't say much other than that. These are my football romance books that I hope to get to during this NFL football season fall time. I'm gonna move into some fantasy books to give us a little break from the romance stuff. We just have like an obvious one that everybody and their mother has read, probably. Second book is coming out in November, fall time. We'll be reading it. That's also my fall TBR. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. If you have not picked this up, pick it up during the fall because it gives off the best cozy fall time vibes. It's just an incredible book. I mean, I gave it 5 stars. Violet, Xaden, dragons, fantasy, good action. We have training and trials. It's like everything I ever love in a fantasy book. Pick it up before Iron Flame comes out. Pick up Fourth Wing. Do it. This is your sign. Step, we have a series, duology, whatever you want to call it. The Crowns of Nyaxia novels. First one is The Serpent and Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This has vampires in it. And I feel like when it's fall time, everybody gets back into their Vampire Diaries era. I gave this book a 4 to 5 stars. I loved this so much. I love Rain and Araya. This kind of reminded me of Fourth Wing a little bit with like the trials and then the enemies to lovers kind of situation. This was my first vampire book. Freaked me out a little bit. It made me a little uncomfortable at some points. I will be completely honest with you, but I got past it. I ended up really, really loving this book. And I immediately had to order the second book. If you want vampire book series, I would definitely recommend the Crowns of Nyaxia series by Carissa Broadbent. I actually just saw this book today at work and I was like reading the back of it and I was like, wait, this is fall. It's called Bewitched. I can't remember who it's by. All I remember is that I think it's about a witch who wants to get into this certain coven and has to like go through trials or something. I think anything involving witches is like, that is fall. Yeah, it's on my TBR. This next book also has to do with witches and it's Serpent and Dove by Shelby Moharan. This is about a witch and a witch hunter and I think it's Marriage of Convenience. This is on my TBR for the month. I don't know if I'll get to it, but I feel like this will be really good in October. High on the TBR for the fall time. I can't do a recommendation video without recommending the Dance of Thieves duology, because if you don't know, Dance of Thieves is like one of my favorite books of all time and of this year. Great enemies to lovers. The Kazi, she's a thief and she meets Jace, who is, I think, a prince. The beginning, I will not lie, was a little hard to get into with all the world building, but once you get past it, it gets so good. It's just such a good comfort fantasy duology for me. If you were thinking about picking it up, fall time, pick it up. All right, let's get back into the light, fluffy romance books that I have on my TBR for the fall time. Simple Wild. This has been on my TBR for so long. Almost a year, I think, coming on now. It does also feel like it gives winter vibes. This is about Kala and Jonah. Kala has to come back to this small Alaskan town to be with her father for some certain reason. And Jonah, he's a pilot. I think he might have been like taught by Kala's father or something. I don't know. They instantly don't like each other. I just heard that everybody really loves this book, so I want to get to it this fall. Next up, yeah, I have not read this yet. I need to pick it up or it will just sit on my TBR forever. It's Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I'm sure if you're an OG book talk girly, you've heard about this. I'm scared. I'm honestly just so scared. I mean, it's so short, so like it shouldn't be too bad. I want to read this in the fall time because it's like a pen pal situation, which is like school setting. Like they send anonymous letters to each other under different names, but in real life they hate each other. This next one, I mean, how could I not read it? It literally says fall in the title. and it's Fall into Temptation by Lucy Score. Look at the cover. I mean, the leaves are orange. Look at the big tree. The word fall. If I do not read this in the fall, someone come and whack me in the head with this book. I don't even remember what this is about. Oh my god, is this a single parent? Her landlord? This is high on the TBR because I saw Single Parent by Lucy Score. I think this is a good November read. Next book. All roads lead here, Mariana Zapata. Very chunky. I don't know, the cover just gives fall. Aurora? What's this guy's name? I don't remember his name. Slow Burn by Mariana Zapata. It gives fall vibes. And lastly, in this stack, which is on my monthly TBR, I think I'm actually gonna pick this one up next. It's A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. I think it's technically the second book in the Lancaster Prep series. It's about Ren and crew prep school romance. I'm very excited to get to this month because I definitely will, I think, pick it up. This next one I don't have a physical copy for. I might be buying it soon. I'm not really sure, but it's called One Dark Window. I don't remember who it's by. I saw this in a bookstore and I read the back and I was like, why is this kind of interesting? And then one of the booktubers I watched read it and really, really liked it. And then I was like, okay, so I already had it on my TBR, glad to know that she likes it. And then Miss Sarah Caroli recently read it, said that she really liked it. She described it as like a gothic kind of fantasy book and would be really good to read in the fall. I don't remember what it's about. I just heard gothic fantasy and was like, that's fall. So it's on my fall TBR. Next up, I just have like a general author to talk about. And if you're gonna read fantasy this fall time, read Sarah J. Maas. Slowly but surely getting through the Throne of Glass series by her. My next one up is Crown of Midnight, which is my third book, but some people's second book. I love reading fantasy books about assassins. If you don't know, that's what the Throne of Glass series is about. It's about Selena, and she's like this top assassin. I will be continuing the Throne of Glass series this fall time. Very excited to get to these. Lastly, I'm just gonna quickly talk about these because honestly, this is more what people think is like winter. I read hockey romances all year round. There is one series that I think you should start in the fall time if you want to get into hockey romance is the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. Are these like the most groundbreaking romance stories ever? No. These, if you're not heard, is just like college romance series. It just really weirdly gives off the fall vibes. I did start the Briar U series, so that's also on my fall TBR. Lastly, for this whole entire video, which you're probably sick of me talking, is Mile High. I have not read this yet, by Liz Tomford. This is about Xander's and Stevie. A lot of people really, really like this book, and actually really like the second book more. She is a flight attendant, he is a playboy. I heard there's good like plus size representation in this book, and I'm scared to read this because Sarah Caroli and Destiny, the book besties, I think they both DNF'd this book, but I'm entitled to have my own opinion, so I will give it a chance. I'm like probably the last person to read this, but that is my extremely long TBR for the fall time and some of my fall recommendations for you to add to your never-ending TBR. If you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys got some fall recommendations from me. I love watching these to see what other people recommend or what other people are reading. I really just want to get into the fall spirit, if we're being honest, because fall, I think, is my favorite season. Make sure to follow all my socials down below, along with my Goodreads, Amazon wishlist. It's all down there. Like, comment, and subscribe for more TBR videos, because I'm sure I'll do kind of like seasonal ones. I'll see you guys, I think, for my September wrap-up. That is very scary. See you guys in the next one. Bye!